Well, Mammoth Community Water District last Thursday urged the Great Basin Unified Air Pollution Control District to reopen the environmental public review process for ORMAT's Casa Diablo 4. That's the geothermal project at Great Basin's quarterly governing board meeting. Now, the initial public review conclusions were based on an incorrect assumption that the groundwater aquifer used by Mammoth Community Water District is physically separated from the deeper geothermal reservoir from which the Casa Diablo 4 project will pump. Press release from the Mammoth Community Water District states that, however, since the initial review, new research and data from the United States Geological Survey collected over the last 2 years has demonstrated consistent scientific evidence of a hydrologic connection between Mammoth's groundwater aquifer and the geothermal reservoir. Now, data showing intermixing between the groundwater aquifer and the geothermal reservoir and elevated groundwater temperatures. Press release says this disproves the environmental review assumption, making clear the threat of contamination to Mammoth's groundwater supply. Now, that press release notes the Mammoth Lakes community depends on groundwater for drinking and daily use in its homes and businesses, meaning the threat of contamination is an existential issue. Mammoth Community Water District does not have an alternative water source that can reliably serve the community's needs. Now, the press release says, in contrast, ORMAT is a multinational, multi-billion-dollar company that can easily relocate should Casa Diablo 4 fail and contaminate Mammoth's water supply. Now, Mammoth Community Water District General Manager Patrick Hayes said, quote, "The people of Mammoth Lakes come first. No matter if you're a water district or an energy company, it's wrong to put profits above the health, safety, and well-being of our community," end quote. Now, that press release says that Mammoth Community Water District does not oppose the Casa Diablo 4 project. It only requests that ORMAT take the necessary common sense measures to protect Mammoth Lake's groundwater from avoidable water quality contamination. Well, Deb Murphy filed a report for Sierra Wave Media on the North Sierra Strategic Plan. Now, that received rave reviews at both the Bishop City Council and Inyo County Board of Supervisors meetings last week. Now, the only issues with the consultant's assessment of 5 potential multi-use sites was money and market demand. Now, working with Caltrans grant funding, the project started with a corridor plan focusing on a pedestrian-friendlier stretch of U.S. Highway 395 from the Y to Brockman Lane. Now, the expanded plan honed in on 5 sites most easily developed with a combination of retail, service, businesses, and housing. Now, the biggest parcel at 22 acres, it's known as Site D, runs from the west of the Tri-County Fairgrounds past the Bishop Veterinary Hospital to an existing multi-use trail. Potential build-out would include the Mule Days Museum and commercial buildings fronting the highway with apartments and residential lots on the north side. Now, the consultants envision trucking and motorist services at Site E at the northwest corner of State Route 6 and Y Road. Now, with the exception of the existing Bishop Plaza, all the potential sites are owned by the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. Now, according to Inyo County Planning Department Director Kathleen Richards, the department is not adverse to selling the land, but the process will take some time. Deb's full report posted on our website, sierrawave.net. Well, due to widespread activity and increasing cases of influenza in California, the California Department of Public Health distributed a press release last week encouraging Californians to get vaccinated. States that if you have not already received your flu vaccine this year, you may still do so. Mono County Health Department notes you can get it there, as well as local pharmacies and clinics. You should call in advance to set up an appointment and check availability. Now, the press release also notes to stop the spread of flu and other respiratory illnesses, folks should, well, stay home while sick and limit contact with others. Cover your cough or sneeze with your sleeve or disposable tissue. Wash your hands frequently and thoroughly with soap and warm water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer, and avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. More information on influenza, you can visit the California Department of Public Health's website or Inyo County Public Health 760-873-7868. Well, Inyo Deputy Joshua Nicholson announced his candidacy for the office of Inyo County Sheriff for the June 5th, 2018 primary election. Nicholson announced that last week. Joshua Nicholson said he has invested a significant amount of individual thought and prayer, as well as time consulting with his wife in making the decision. First and foremost, Nicholson said he is driven to ensure the safety of our county, which is and always will be the core tenet of his professionalism as a peace officer. Secondly, Nicholson said he's been honored and humbled by his peers, both within and outside the Inyo County Sheriff's Department, who have asked him to run for sheriff. Josh Nicholson's full press release is posted on sierrawave.net. Well, 2 Olancha residents were arrested and charged with felonies, including one with attempted murder. This after an incident last Friday. Now, according to the Inyo County Sheriff's Department, on January 12th at approximately 10:14 a.m., Inyo County Sheriff's Dispatch received a 911 call from a man in Olancha who reported that he had shots fired at him. Inyo County Sheriff's deputies, California Highway Patrol officers, responded to the location and determined that 54-year-old Olancha resident Stephen Paul Smith had fired a handgun at the victim during an argument. The victim sustained minor injuries unrelated to the shots fired and was treated by ambulance on scene. Inyo County Sheriff's investigators obtained a search warrant for Smith's residence, and with the assistance of the Inyo Mono SED, that's the Special Enforcement Detail, the warrant was served at Smith's residence in Olancha. He was located at the residence and detained. Press release says numerous firearms, ammunition, and destructive device and materials were located during the search. Stephen Paul Smith was later arrested for attempted murder, assault with a deadly weapon, negligent discharge of a firearm, and possession of a destructive device. Also, Robert Lewis Smith, 52-year-old Olancha resident, was also arrested as a result of the search warrant. This for felon in possession of ammunition and possession of destructive device materials. If you do have any information on this case, you are asked to contact the Inyo County Sheriff's Department at 760-873-0383. We'll be back with more news.